So, as of September, Catholic schools in Canada will be violating their own religion and teaching children that there are 6 different genders. Can you even conceive of an Islamic school having to do that, being forced by the government to do that? It doesn't even fit in my head. I think they only teach one gender. In fact, this is a picture of Carlo Briscoe. She's a grade 12 student from Robert F. Hall Catholic Secondary School in Caledon, Ontario. Her team, which is all male except for 2 players, was recently playing the ISNA private Islamic high school. And the Muslims there refused to play the team if there was girls on it. They don't play with girls. So the 2 women were forced to sit out the game. That's multiculturalism when it comes to Islam. When it comes to Catholicism or anyone white or anyone typically Canadian, God forbid you should use that term, they have to do whatever the government tells them. And their religion is, may Catholicism be damned. So, yeah, as of September, they'll be learning all 6 of them. And they are male, female, we knew those. There's intersexed, which is basically a hermaphrodite. There's transsexual, which means that you had the operation and you've taken surgical measures. And then there's just transgendered, where you just say you are and act like it, but you don't have to necessarily do anything. The last one is the craziest one. It's called two-spirited, which is a native term. And it really is covered by transsexual and transgendered, but they want to be all-inclusive, so they just throw in this Indian word, which I guarantee you will never hear an Indian say, ever. So why do I care? Why is this damaging, besides the fact that it's a violation? Well, we have taken this lunacy so far that we're giving children hormone blockers. And there is a teacher, a psychologist, Kenneth Zucker, and he's the head of the Child and Adolescent Gender Identity Clinic at Toronto's Centre for Addiction and Mental Health. And he is saying, whoa, let's slow down on giving prepubescent children chemicals because they think they're a girl or they think they're a boy and their genitalia doesn't match. That's not healthy. He's saying most of these boys who think they're girls are just gays, and they have to go try it out for a while before we do anything drastic. And why shouldn't you do anything drastic? Well, because the suicide rate of post-op transsexuals is 20 times that of the general populace. Johns Hopkins University was one of the first to do it, and they don't do it anymore because they see that suicide rate and they recognize that it violates the Hippocratic Oath. However, now that the lunatics are running the asylum, you would have to be incredibly naive to think that 6 genders is going to last. You think this is going to be the only tweak of sex ed, that they're going to throw in two-spirited? They're going to keep running with this, and academia already has. Now, we're talking about transabled. Are you familiar with this? That is the phenomenon of cutting off your arms and your legs because you were born in a handicapped person's body, not an able person's body. I'm sorry to laugh. I should be much more serious about the mentally ill. But this guy, Clive Davis, not the guy who discovered Whitney Houston, but Clive Davis is the Canada Research Chair on Narrative Studies, whatever the hell that means. He teaches social work in New Brunswick, and he claims to have found 37 transabled people. And he takes them very seriously. Let's listen to him talk about that.
A number of notions about the causation of this, but people who identify as transabled feel the need to align their body, their physical body, with their body map.
Align their body with their map. Doesn't he seem sort of dubious of his own bullshit there? Can't you sort of see him rolling his eyes behind his eyes? I don't believe that he believes this. To find people who believe it, you got to go pretty far out on the nut scale bar, and you got to go pretty young. This is an academic named Alexandre Baril, and he is happy to explain to everyone how legitimate it is to chop your legs off. And he presented this transabled case recently at Ottawa University's Congress of the Social Sciences and Humanities. Great. Sounds good. Look, I love that Canada is such a new country and the culture is so modern. Canada isn't stuck in these antiquated views of, like, say, class, for example, the way Britain is. However, when you're analyzing tradition, you don't have to throw out the baby with the bathwater, okay? And not everything that's traditional is garbage. Catholicism is not garbage. You said you respect religions. Let's respect them. Science is not garbage. Doctors are not being sexist when they say there's only two genders. Okay? This guy, Kenneth Zucker, is not being a homophobe when he says it's okay to be gay. We're getting to a point where we're so open-minded that we're letting dysphoria create a dystopia.